Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You hear your channel host, GBHL James.
I'm GBHL Jamie, and it's Speak for Any question number XYZ.
It's number 60.
60.
60. It's like our, is it a diamond? Is that a diamond anniversary?
I don't know. Paper. It's probably worth.
So you speak for any question, and apologies for the fact that it took so long. If you are on the Facebook, then you will have seen the incredibly slow upload time.
Yeah.
At my fiance's mum's, so I don't think it went up until like Tuesday morning.
Oh, grim.
Yeah, I know. So a lot of you must have had absolutely nothing to do in your lives for those 2 days. So we are at Jamie's, and we've got quite a lot of questions considering it only went up Tuesday.
Yeah, 35 comments.
Good work, guys.
Let's see what we get.
Good work, guys. So who we got first?
We got Acthon39. He says, 8 days without Speak for Any question. How did I survive? Anyway, this week's question is: in what situation would it be better to go two-handed? Yes, you get +1 to wound, but -1 to the fight, and that is a serious sacrifice. How can you best maximise this? We'll do that one, and then we'll do the rest of it.
Do you know what? It's a good question because it's something that comes up a lot.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, I think, make the mistake of going two-handed when odds really
aren't in their favour.
So because they want to get that +1, but really, I would say you want to know that you're going to win the fight. Almost.
Yeah. The best time to use it is when you essentially got what's termed a kill team, where you have sort of like maybe it's just on power save mode. It's just on like you've got 3 guys, one with a two-handed axe, 2 without basically, and you trap a model with the 3 of them. Those 2 are there to win the fight, and your two-handed model goes two-handed, so it gets double dice and +1 to wound.
Yeah,
that's really the best time to do when you're maximising your odds.
Yeah, you've got to have sort of more dice in that fight. I think that you are more like I think even having 2 on there, I wouldn't necessarily unless you've got a higher fight value, maybe. But yeah, kill teaming I think is the best way to go.
We actually this weekend we had a shade and some two-handed axes.
Yeah.
So we were like on the equal playing field. There's like I'm two-handed piercing striking. I've got a spear support that might win the fight for me.
Oh.
It was grim.
Yeah, did you enjoy using that grim armor?
Yeah, it was good. It was fun.
So yeah, and then he's got another part to his question.
And also, when wounding cavalry, what's the advantage to killing the horse rather than straight up killing the rider? Thanks again for another great video, and look forward to next week.
Hackathon, these are good questions for Speak for Any question.
I initially will always strike the mount. Reason being is, in the worst case scenario, you're going to need a 5 to wound it more often than not, and sometimes you might need that 6 on a rider. If you do kill the mount, then it becomes a really expensive infantry model, and you don't have to worry about priority with it then. Yeah.
And I think especially when we're talking about you want to fight versus heroes that are mounted.
Oh, even heroes more so than anything, yeah.
Because you hugely reduce their ability to have an impact on the battle.
Yeah.
Like massively. And there's a big difference between a hero that's able to charge in on a horse and a hero that's suddenly on foot.
Yeah. Unless you're Thranduil.
Unless you're Thranduil. Of which I've just got a Thranduil.
Have you?
I have, yes, I have. I think it'd be good in some more heroes next year. Should be good fun. So yeah, good questions, Acthon. Well done. This is Acthon who's in the triple loop.
Yeah, well, he says Acthon39. Second comment for you guys. Sorry, Jane, but I have to stay in the triple loop. What would you guys say?
This is what happens when you're not here.
Yeah, I know. What would you guys say? What would you guys say that you predominantly do, hobby-wise, painting, gaming, or work for this channel? Because I live in a very Hobbit SBG rare place, and I find that your channel and painting is my major form of the hobby. How about you? Yeah, the channel's the biggest part, probably.
Easily.
Then it's probably gaming just because of tournaments.
Yeah, I would say last year was definitely sort of channel
gaming painting.
Channel gaming painting. This for me, obviously, I'm trying to do a bit more painting, but the channel takes up all of my hobby time, I would say, these days.
It's all the videos that you put out, but then also we said it in past videos, but the editing time and uploading can be a good chunk of your free time gone.
For an hour-long bat rep, you're talking about, it's a good amount. It's like a day's work. Really.
Yeah,
it's like a day's work. So if you've got a well-edited bat rep, it's about an hour long. It's about a day's work in total.
Yeah,
I would say.
You can take this one. I did too.
He
asked for me to read this. Sorry lads, that's twice now I've posted too late. Anyway, here it goes. Jamie can read this because it's going to be a long one.
Good man, Dave.
It's Dave Egan, this is. I wanted to say previously that there's only a few little things I'd change about the rules. I'd allow a pike arm model to support a spear arm model, supporting a friendly model in combat. So how it
used to be like that.
Yeah. Fainting should be that if you've only got the higher fight, you get to roll 1s to ruin without penalty. So it'll benefit most from it, which makes sense instead of finding swordsman in Middle Earth.
A bit of a different suggestion.
Yeah. Piercing strike would increase your strength and decrease your defense by 1, just rather than D3. Yeah, I think we've said that in our videos. With stun, I'd make it that you can only stun a model your base size or smaller, since it makes no sense to me that an elf with a staff can stun a rampaging dragon with a little knock on the head. Again, makes sense. No idea what I'd do with the other strikes. Not really that bothered, since they're never really used in comparison with the first two. From a realistic point of view, I'd make it that a spear model can only support a model with the same size base.
Used to be like that.
Yep. Not really bothered by this either though, since current rules for spears are dead simple. Yeah, that's the reason why.
I think that's why they've changed it, haven't they?
It's just simplifying everything.
Yeah.
I agree that Sackwill is overpowered and should either be more difficult to cast or have its effectiveness reduced.
Agree.
Yep. For that one, I've always felt Sackwill should just take a will point off. Like, you don't bother resisting it, but it only takes 1 off.
Yeah.
So essentially you're trading will for will.
Yeah.
I like the idea of rescaling the fight values to be higher to allow for more accurate representation. It would be good if fight value could go above 10. Yeah, we say 12.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Just going back to the Sapwill thing, based on what you said there, I think that's actually quite a good idea, because Sapwill is a ring wraith spell, really.
Yeah.
It's a ring wraith spell. So ring wraiths have obviously got quite a lot of might. Quite a lot of will. But of course they have to be careful with that because they can disappear.
Yeah.
Well, then you've got the ring wraith player has to have that sort of predicament where it's like, well, do you know what? I'm going to use 3 will. I'm going to use 3 will to sap 3 of your will, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And they're trading will for will.
Yeah.
You know, of course you can try and resist it.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think that could be a good way of doing that.
He'd make hobbits and goblins fight 1. Regular orcs like Mordor orcs, elite goblins and untrained managed troops like ruffians and Lake Town militia fight 2. Most managed troops, Rohan, Dale, fiefdom warriors, etc. and elite orcs, gunbad and Morannons fight 3. Elite managed troops like Rohan Royal Guard, Rangers, Warriors and Knights of Minas Tirith, Uruk-hai and Dwarves, most of them certainly, fight 4. Luminaries and Dunedain, Rangers of the North, Knights of Dalmroth and Citadel and Fountain Court Guards fight 5, and then Elves fight 6, is how we do it. Finally, on a different note, something about profiles I'd change is that there are too many glorified captain profiles with 3 might. I think the truly mighty heroes of the calibre of Thorin, Dane, Imrahil, Eomer, Thranduil, Shadrach, Gothmog, Azog, the Witch King, etc. should have 4 might to separate them from the 3 might captain profile heroes. With a few rare ones maybe even having 5 might, like Gladriel, Gandalf, Saruman, Gilgalad, Elendil or Sauron. Scary prospect, I know.
I think looking from where we are on the time scale of it as a hobby, you'd probably say that. Remember, everything has crept, hasn't it, over a period of time. So now profiles which were probably really massive, and it's like, wow, this thing's got 3 might, it's got this, it's got that, and all of a sudden now when you're comparing it to things that might have a little more,
isn't it?
Yeah, in comparison.
Yeah, and with all the extra heroic actions, it sort of made those big 3 might heroes less useful, because like, oh, I can't use it to move, I've got to save that for a strike against any little captain hoping to heroic strike and beat me.
Oh, well, I think there's some really good suggestions there. Thank you very much, Dave, and well done for filling the brief of getting Jamie to ask a long question. Answer the long question. Okay, so next up we've got Lixation. He's put, hey guys, 2 questions this week. Firstly, in battle companies, if a character kills a mount, does it count as inflicting a wound?
Yes, as per the FAQ.
There's a battle company's FAQ?
I don't know, but just the mounts cause VPs in Lords of Battle now. So it makes sense that it would translate over. Yeah. Okay.
And secondly, do you agree that with Games Workshop begin to add common strategies to their model descriptions on the website, such as the Shadow Lord and the Dark Marshal? Thanks.
I actually saw this question when it got posted and went and checked them. And they do have them on there, yeah. Those, but no one else though I could find. So I think it's just a copy and paste from old articles they had.
Interesting. So they're literally just like a strategy that you might use.
Yeah. So Shadow Lord says you might want to use the Shadow Lord with your mounted with your Morgul Knights to make sure that your cavalry reach the combat, and the Harbinger of Evil and their terror combined nicely.
That's quite cool.
You might also want to put in a Harad Numbar force because of their low defence, but allows you to beat others in shooting because you're not being shot as easily. And Dark Marshall was to talk about sort of he's a great leader and also a good fighter. So you might want to throw him into a few combats and then keep him back, let his banner use.
Yeah, well, I think that's pretty cool that they're doing that. I mean, because they didn't need to do that, did they? Would that have been James? Probably.
No.
Adding stuff like that to the website?
No.
Okay. So yeah.
He just builds it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, very, very interesting. No, I hadn't noticed that, but yeah, I think it's a good thing because if it makes somebody think, oh, you know, I'll get this model.
I'll buy that model. Yeah.
Buy this model. So yeah, it's good. It's good marketing strategy. So next up, we've got Jason Province.
He says, "Hey guys, why is it that Grimbold from Rohan can't have a horse? He's a horse lord, so I don't understand why he isn't given a mount option." I mean, it's fluff that the Games Workshop have written in for him is that he's more of a Dunlending than a Rohirrim warrior, so that's why he'd rather fight on foot.
Yeah, that's like the Games Workshop fluff, isn't it? I mean, from the Tolkien lore aspects, I completely agree with you. Yeah. You know, all Rohirrim should be able to take a horse, and then I mean, would he be worth it then?
I still think so.
The way that you make him work, you give him burly or something. Yeah. You know, make him like a mini Thrydon or something.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you might be willing to take him, but he's not worth it compared to a captain even. So next up we have got Ross Diggle. He's put, James and Jamie, my question for the week. With you having your new GBHL dice, can I have your old Element Games dice? You've seen my rolls and know how shocking they are. The Element Games dice, or the blue dice as they should now be known.
Good job.
Are going to undergo a conversion of which there will be many whip threads that will be posted on the forums to make them into converted GBHL dice. But I do recommend getting the GBHL channel dice because they always roll 6s, so just saying.
Yeah, the winners of the previous event were using GBHL dice the entire time. Third place also used
Jay Clare and...
Yeah, Jay Clare and...
did he buy some?
Yeah, Dan bought some.
Good lad.
He was using them all tournaments and he won.
There you go.
I was using mine all tournaments and I came third.
That's just science.
Tournament winning dice.
That's just science. It's science. Get these dice, win tournaments. Yeah. It's an ergo something. Okay, guys?
We also had... like, the first few rolls never seemed to be very good. So like, lots of people, when they bought them, were like testing, like, I want a refund.
I completely agree because when I rolled, no, I don't agree because we obviously relied on camera and said that they were 6s, but we rolled them a few, lots of 1s and 4s and you know, stuff like that. But then, they get, it's like they have to bond with you. They have to create a relationship. Yeah. So that's definitely what that is. Yeah. So next up we got Chris Lee.
Yeah, Chris Lee. He says, "Hey guys, I was wondering if I could get some advice on my small Isengard list. I've seen this on the Facebook page actually. I've seen the What Do You Think of My Isengard list videos and it was a great help. I know the troll sucks up so many points, way to ignore the video, but he saves me every time and his defence site makes it almost impossible to wound. I play against the Gondor army in my first game just yesterday, well that was 3 days ago, and his heroes found it hard to wound him. So it's a 300 point list, it's got a Shaman with armour, 10 Uruk-hai warriors, 5 pike and 5 shield, 1 Uruk-hai banner bearer and 1 Isengard troll.
You I mean it's 300 points I suppose.
300 points, but you're playing essentially without might. I assume you're going to channel Fury.
Yeah. I think as you play some more games, Chris, especially with like some of the scenarios, you might find that it's very, very tough to win with a list like that. So even though your Isengard troll is defense 8, strength 4 is still only going to need 6s, and a lot of things are going to outnumber you. At some point you'll lose the fight. Reasonably easily to break you, so the low courage is going to be, I know you've got a Shaman, but there's nothing there to really worry.
I mean, your line's 5 men long, so it's an interesting one.
But keep practicing.
I think numbers is the way to go for myself.
Definitely go and rewatch our How to Build an Isengard list video. No, keep up the good work, pal. I'm glad that you're getting out there and playing some games. Good lad. So next up we got Akathon39, this is his triple loop.
Yeah.
He's been, I was thinking about how weird the Speak Friend and Questions time frame is like.
It is.
It gets us every time.
Yeah.
I'm writing now, waiting for it to be read.
2 days ago was Tuesday, he's writing on Tuesday.
So he's writing on Tuesday, we answer on Thursday, and it comes out hopefully on Sunday. Hopefully on Sunday. he goes, which I read out a week's time, just after watching your videos today, which you guys filmed last Thursday, which was responding to my comments from last week. Very strange and confusing. Anyway, it was great to see Jamie's dislike of Triple Luke, so I decided to ask him a question just for him. Don't worry, it'll be nice and short, just like you want. What's the basic GBHL timetable? So Mondays, Tuesdays, etc.
Well, this is actually interesting because we've all been speaking about this, haven't we, in the host group. So Mondays is the hobby vlogs, which you and Damien have been really holding up. Which Damien has been really holding up.
What do you mean? I've been holding up.
Yeah, you say it's hobby vlog. It's like, I'm gonna paint a miniature. I'm going to watch Vikings.
That was once! Listen, I managed to paint some blonde on the hair of some of those Sons of Ale.
That's worthy of a hobby vlog.
Interestingly, and then I didn't film a hobby vlog for this, which I could have done.
Well, I realised far too late Monday evening that I was repainting my dragon. I was like, oh no,
yeah,
I'm doing hobby.
I actually, cause
where's my camera?
I'm taking some time on these Sons of Ale. Because obviously I want them to look good, because I use them all the time. I want them to look really good, and I did. It would have been a short hobby blog, but it would have been talking about how I highlight through the red, because I did like the red cloth and stuff, and also I was highlighting the horses, and got through the second stage. So it would have been a little bit of something, and I could have done, and I just didn't do it. So I apologise for that. I'll maybe include that next week, so make it a bit longer one.
Tuesdays is the Let's Try Tuesdays, but we've not really got enough of that recorded at the moment, so as and when that'll come out.
We're building. We're building.
It's all getting towards it.
We're getting bits of systems ready. I mean, it's been a spattering, hasn't it? And sometimes it's been like, look at this game that we are going to do on a Let's Try Tuesday in the future.
I mean, I've got quite a few board games that we can give it a go. It's just finding time to record them. I mean, with the Lord of the Rings campaign, it should free us up a bit, because that's one back rep a week that we don't have to record.
Yes, it is.
Somehow I managed to smash them out. So Tuesdays is Let's Try Tuesday. Wednesday and Thursday are sort of, we've not really got them assigned things. They'll usually be sort of unboxings or the other back rep, if we've got what. Friday is obviously the Planter. Saturday is Lord of the Rings campaign, and will be for the foreseeable future. And Sundays is Speak Friendly Question Day.
And this will change over periods of time. So for example, we had Middle-earth Deadliest Warbands was Wednesday for a period of time, and Battle Companies took up,
I think it was Thursdays.
Took up Thursdays, and so it'll be fluid. We're always changing. It won't always be set. Sometimes we won't be able to sort of do what we plan to do, because we do this in our spare time.
Yeah. I mean, the two that will be around for the foreseeable are Speak Friendly Question and Palantir. They're sort of the staple of the channel.
Yes, they are.
And everything else fitting around them.
Everything else is a bonus.
Yeah.
For you. Great stuff. Thank you very much, Akathon.
Yep. Next week we've got Josh Bajan. He says, "Hey James and Jamie, sorry for dropping the loop this/last week, and congrats on getting Smaug." Warning, Smaug.
1 minute. Let's you carry on reading the question.
Just out of curiosity, would you guys be willing to ship products to Oz at the buyer's expense? Also, how do you feel about GW slowly pulling the Lord of the Rings range from their web store? I personally wouldn't have a problem with it, but shipping to Oz at the buyer's expense. But I honestly wouldn't take the time to do it. Is the thing there?
Yeah.
It's just. Seems more hassle for me.
Yeah, there would have to be sort of. It couldn't just be at expense, could it? Really, because of the time element to it. Now you might notice that my guns are bulging right now under the weight of the huge. I can't believe how big the box is, but we'll just give it a. This is not my smell. It is. It's my smell. Look at the size. That was your first reaction to that box.
Just a big box, isn't it?
It's a big box. So do expect an unboxing of that, and I do believe that GBHL Damien has done an unboxing.
Yeah, that should come out soon, shouldn't it?
That's coming in sooner than this one. Yeah. So we'll probably give it a little bit of time between them. Yeah. Not give you a Smaug overload. I'm sure that everybody would like to see everybody's opinions on this amazing thing. Yeah. So.
Yeah, how do you feel about GW slowly pulling the Lord of the Rings? I don't think they're pulling it on purpose. I think they're just not got the license to recast things, is what it seems to be, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, and it's all about, you know, whether it's profitable and stuff like that, and how it looks at the business, which none of us can ever really know. So all we can do is keep buying models from them.
And hopefully.
And playing the game and getting involved in the community, coming to tournaments. Yeah. Okay, so next up we've got Bradley Cobden. He's put, what are your thoughts on making a pure Dad's Army SBG, including German parachutists, the gang and the ARP Warden? I know there are models and rules for them in bolt action, but I think making it a separate game would be awesome. So like a pure Dad's Army.
Yeah, it'd be just weird though, because they don't really do anything. They just sort of drive around. Oh no!
You could. I think you could definitely make like a board game with pieces. I'm not sure you could make a war game.
Yeah, SBG would be cool just to have them, but yeah, it has to be like really weird scenarios.
Yeah, like getting Jones's sausages, or
it'd be loads of fetch and carries, but you wouldn't get the comedy side of it, would you?
No, that's why it would have to be board. There'd have to be like cards and stuff that made
events that happen, like you know.
I think that'd be quite cool. I love Dad's Army.
It's so fun. I remember watching it as a kid at my grandparents' house.
I was exactly the same. Yeah. My granddad used to record them all.
Yeah, my granddad used to watch it with me, and I think it'd be like the last thing I watched before going to bed.
Yeah, same here. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely same here. In fact, the other day, well I say the other day, it was probably a few weeks ago, knowing how life goes with timescales. A few weeks ago, Dad's Army came on, the Dad's Army movie was on the telly. And me and Jen weren't really watching it. I said, don't you put it on as like a bit of background stuff, you know, like just put it on, it's really good. And she was really resistant at first, but she was in stitches, and I was getting things that obviously I wouldn't have got when I was a kid. And it's hilarious. Yeah. Like, it's absolutely hilarious. Dad's Army for winners.
Well worth the rewatch, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, next question.
Next up we got Squire. He says, first question ever. Me and my brother really want to go to the Desolation of Stockport in April, but we have not played Lord of the Rings competitively before. Is that okay?
First of all, this is your first question.
Yep.
Jamie, what has he entered?
He is in the loop.
He's in the loop. Welcome to the loop. Now, what does being in the loop mean, Jamie?
Since we have answered, well, since we will answer...
We may answer your question.
Since we will answer your question, you now have to ask one next week as well.
And for the rest of your life, recurring. Recurring.
On a weekly basis. Yeah, you've not played competitively before, that's fine to do.
We get loads. It's one of the great things about having the channel as a vehicle.
Yeah, so we get quite a few people who have found it through us and then come to ours and then eventually go to their own tournaments that are close to them.
Yeah.
Which is great to see. And yeah, you'll get on, and everyone's willing to help. No one is particularly, you know, going to try and game you and cheat you out of anything. Everyone's really friendly.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely come along to it. Also, where can I find the details on the tournament, like points, rules and address? My dad would like to come and watch us. Would he need to buy a ticket too? He wouldn't need to buy a ticket, no.
And he'll find himself in good company, because in each event we've had like groups of parents who become friends, and you know, they've gone and got coffees together, they've got on with work, you know, they come for the meals, and in a lot of instances it'd be quite interesting to see the parents really not have a real idea about what they're bringing their kids to.
What they're getting into.
You know, who are these weirdos that they're going to be going and playing? But then really kind of warm to it and actually see that it's a very social hobby, that it's a very friendly, sort of passionate.
You'll meet people you would never have met.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'd never hang around with Jamie. I'm lying, I'm joking.
No, you're not.
I am.
I wouldn't. If someone said, oh yeah, my mate's coming, he's a personal trainer, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, well, I was about to swear then.
Me too.
I am. No, but it's true, because it puts you in a social situation that you might not normally be in your sort of normal life. So it's a different network. So definitely come down and get involved. We look forward to having it, and we will be doing a video soon with all of the details on. So even if you're not on Facebook and things.
But yeah, try and find the Great British Hobbit League Facebook group, not our channel page, and the events are in there. And I'll try and post a link to the channel page, but because the group's private, it doesn't tend to show up unless you're already in the group on our Facebook page.
Right, okay, that's fair enough. So yeah, go and check that out. All the details are on there, but there will be a video soon. But we can tell you that it's 600 points.
Yep.
It's in Stockport. It costs £30. It is on the 27th?
25th and 26th.
Is it 25th and 26th? Thanks for that. Oh no, my stag do is on the 27th.
27th, 28th.
I knew that something was happeing on the 27th at some point during this year.
Yeah, 25th and 26th of April.
Okay, and the address is Stockport.
Stockport.
Type in Stockport and you'll find it. It's not too far from the station.
Yeah.
Okie dokie.
The phone's buzzing away over there.
Is it mine? I think it'll be Jane. I've got to make my way home at some point soon. Okay, so
It's Dynasty next.
we've got Dynasty, and he's relatively new to the loop. He was introduced by Akathon, I believe. In Hobbit SBG, can you get Dane's Battle Pig? All I want is a Battle Pig. To hell with every other model if there's a Battle Pig, and if not, why not? Battle Pig. And in reply to the person who asked who would be strength 10, defense, will, might, etc., I think all of us here know that it would be the Battle Pig. I think someone likes bacon.
Yeah.
Do you think we're going to get that?
I hope to God we do.
We've got to get a Dane. That would surely be in planning.
Yeah.
Dane is a big character. Why would you not make that?
Yeah, they've got Dane Ironfoot. They could easily make, you know, Dane Lord of the Iron Hills or something, and have him as his earlier self.
I don't see in any kind of planning for releasing models why you wouldn't plan to make a Dane.
The
issue might be...
He was there early on though, so... let's just hope. Let's just hope.
But it could be a situation where maybe there was some design differences.
Yeah, well, he had this big red axe that they made a big hoo-ha about, and it became a big red hammer.
And it could literally be that they thought, well, actually, but mind you, they didn't do that with Thranduil. Thranduil didn't suddenly become on an elk. He stayed on being a horse.
Yeah.
But then again, that could be to do with the rules.
Yeah, with the rules, or just no. I think that could be that, you know, we had him ready for your second film. We've made him, and against which our lawyers might battle the fact that we put a lot of money into this. We're releasing this model, new line back down. Maybe.
Could be.
It could be any number of reasons. Let's just hope we get a Battle Pig.
I'm sure we'll get a Battle Pig.
Fingers crossed.
For your sake. So next up we got Ian Jeffrey.
He said stunned silence from the last question. I don't remember it. Apologies for that. You think GW will create one large compendium of all the rules and armies? Probably not.
This should be
This gets asked sort of
nearly every other week, I reckon.
Not just to us, but on like the forums.
Yeah.
It's like, do you think Games Workshop will make one big book again? I'd like them to. It was really convenient having the.
We could probably film another series of 7 of those, because I've got a few that I've written down that come up all the time.
Yeah.
Why aren't you watching all of our videos every minute and every second?
Let's hope that they do. It would be nice to have, you know, there and back again as a rule book.
Yeah, it'd be cool, wouldn't it?
And you get all the Hobbit models. It would be just the Hobbit models, but all of them in one big rule book.
Yeah.
With all the scenarios, painting tips, and everything we've got. That would be nice.
That would be nice. That would be nice. And maybe that's why there's certain things, because this is the thing in the Battle of 5 Army supplement. That, you know, we were talking before about Dane. He's not in there.
Yeah.
And it does make you kind of think maybe there is going to be something from a publication.
One last big thing.
One last thing. Just everything. Fingers and toes crossed.
Hashtag one last time.
Brilliant stuff. Yeah. So yeah, fingers crossed. So next up we've got Ross Brown. He's put, first of all, thank you guys for getting me back into the hobby. It's a pleasure, that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we tend to hear that.
Continue to do that.
All the time, yeah, let's hope so. And second of all, should I go with either Lothlorien, Gondor or Thranduil's Hall, because I love them all and I'm stuck? I would say, from a supporting your Hobbit hobby point of view, go with your Thranduil's Hall and buy some of the new stuff.
Yeah, the new Hobbit stuff.
Lothlorien is the most competitive, I'd say.
Out of them, yeah, Lothlorien is the most competitive. It's such a hard question because they all play, like Lothlorien and Thranduil's Hall is a reasonably similar play style. Gondor's completely different to the other one, so it's not like you can even go all the way. You can use them in conjunction because you just can't.
And you said that you love them all. I mean, you could do what we all end up doing and collect them all.
Yeah.
You know, because you only got 3 armies. I mean, you've got more than 3 armies. Yeah. I've got more than 3 armies. You just got to go.
To be fair, I think to start off with, Thranduil's Halls have the best models.
I'll tell you what you should do. You should, well, Thranduil's Halls are going to be the best models, and you're supporting your Hobbit hobby. But this is a really good sort of acid test on anything, and you'll probably have to do this with a dice. Okay, 1 to 2 it's Lothlorien, 3 to 4 it's Gondor, and 5 to 6 it's Thranduil's Hall. Roll it. If you regret, if you regret what it lands on, then you know. Like if it lands on it and you go, Like if there's a little moment, a little tiniest moment, then you know that goes, and then do a coin toss.
Yeah.
Or 1 to 3, 4 to 6, and that's how you'll know which one you truly deep down want to collect. Great advice.
I agree. I've done the coin toss one before.
I've done it before. Because sometimes you don't know, you like the idea that
of both,
but you don't really know.
And then when you're like, bleep your heads.
Yeah.
It's like sales is like, no, I'm not doing that.
It's like when you're selecting DVDs, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm sure we've all done that where like your partner or your mates or whatever, and you're like, right, okay, what should we watch? Oh, I'm not really bothered. Right, I'll tell you what, well, let's get a selection, and like you mix them up and you go, right, okay, left or right hand or whatever, and it's like, it's like, okay, well, we know this one then. We've all been there.
Next up is Al Wood. He says, thanks for another great video. I have to confess, the two of you do a great double act, making the Speak Friend and Question videos informative and entertaining.
Laurel and Hardy.
Yeah.
Morecambe and Wise.
Obviously a very sort of sheltered individual, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's not very fair.
So who?
I think that we've done a pretty good job.
Yeah, okay.
Think of everything. Hang on, let's have a little moment. Think of everything that we've done over the last couple of years. You know.
Oh, I'm fully aware. I just like to play it now.
Jamie should be very proud of himself.
If I may, I'd like to ask two questions. Jamie, your response to a question about a possible all-mounted Gondor army was not very positive. Can you explain why? Yes, I can explain why.
Did you not explain why in your answers before?
No, I was just like, you can't do Gondor army like you can do a Rohan army. I actually, this is a question I saw in the notifications and I thought about whilst walking to work one day. I've got a bit of an answer explained in my head really. You've got two troop...
Planned this?
Yeah.
You've changed.
I know. You've got two troop types that can be mounted. You've got Citadel Guard on horse and you've got Knights of Minas Tirith. Knights of Minas Tirith have no ranged capabilities, so they have to get into combat, but they're fight 3. They've got a lance, which is their saving grace, but they're on unarmoured horses, fight 3, and aren't great, in all honesty.
Yeah.
And only one attack, obviously, with no banner in sight besides the banner. Secondly, your only mounted unit that has range is the Citadel Guard with longbow. When you give a Citadel Guard a horse and longbow, he goes up to 18 points, which for 18 points to hang back and only be in defence 5 is a bit rubbish, and he's only 4+ shoot value, so 5's to hit. He's not great. When you compare them to Rohan have got the 100% bows on their riders of Rohan, who can be fight 4. They're defence 5 at the lowest, so they have more options to scout, to skirmish and scout and shoot, whereas the Gondor army has to get into combat and it's just not great and good enough.
Yeah.
You also lack really decent mounted options besides Boromir, Aragorn and a Faramir. Once you take on Faramir, you've got to expend a lot of points on the big heroes or get a captain or king of men, and there's just not the right sort of... The army's not built for it.
Yeah, I would agree. I think the key point that you made there is that if you're going for an all-cavalry army, you've got, right, how do you have to play an all-cavalry army? And there's a particularly good article in a very well-known community fanzine called SBG, which we both contributed to, sort of anti-cavalry and pro-cavalry tactics. And if you look at how a cavalry army has to play, they don't do the things that a cavalry army needs to do and don't have the attributes that a cavalry army needs to be able to work. I mean, it'd be interesting to try, but it's much weaker than a few other options. Because you'd say that I actually, Rivendell Knights are very viable because they're multi-role. They can do the shooting because you need to be able to do the skirmishing stuff.
Yeah,
you need to be able to pick when you're fighting.
The people who can do it are Rivendell Knights, Rohan and Harad, because Harad get 50% bows and they're very cheap for what they are, and they get war lances.
Yeah.
So they've got the sort of punch on the charge, but they can sit back and outshoot you as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's probably why. It's because they don't have enough of the key ingredients for an all cavalry thing. But I think it'd be a fun force. I think you should still do it. I think it'd look cool, and that's what really matters. It looks cool.
Yeah. The second question is, what is the most forgiving army for someone new to the game and tournaments to use? I'm guessing Isengard or Urukai. I would agree with that. The other armies I could bring along in April would be New Mirkwood, Minas Tirith, Fodder all mounted, Goblin Town Goblins, but I need to get some painted in time. Cheers from Al Wood.
So you are coming to the Desolation of Stockport?
Desolation of Stockport.
You legend. You're going to have such a good time. It's going to be a great tournament. scouted out Amici's the other day.
Oh yeah.
I took my biotic fitters there because it's a good night out. It's cheap and
it's good.
It's alright.
Yeah, so New Mirkwood, Minas Tirith, foot on mounted, Goblin Town Goblins, or what's the other one?
Go for New Mirkwood. Get your new stuff painted up.
Yeah.
Do it.
Or prove me wrong and do well with mounted Gondor.
Yeah, mounted Gondor. I think that would look really cool because, like you say, you've got that whole thing of charging for a Skilliath, and I think that would be pretty cool. I'm dying for the bathroom, so can I leave you?
Again?
Oh. Yeah. Absolutely dying.
Yeah, sure.
2 seconds.
I see why you're just escaping the army question, aren't you? That's all. Next up is Aaron Patel. He says, thank you for answering my question. My question is this week.
I don't want to get lonely.
On behalf of a friend who is thinking of making this army and wants to know how to improve it. You've got Aragorn from the 3 Hunters, so you see all those there. 12 Rangers of Middle-earth. Elrohir leading 12 High Elves, 4 with bow, 4 with blade, 4 with shields and blades. 9 Rangers of the North and 6 Dunedain. Elladan leading the same warband as Elrohir. There's a problem there already. Elladan and Elrohir have to be in the same warband, and you only get 11 troops with them, so you're going to need another hero to lead the same warband. What leader would be good to lead the Rangers of Middle-earth, apart from Aragorn, is he wants to have him as an independent hero. Thanks for all the content and answering this question. So, we've got Aragorn, the 3 Hunters, 12 Rangers of Middle-earth, so you need a hero to lead them, or I think you have to take Aragorn, Isildur there. Elladan and Elrohir leading 11 High Elves, and you need to get another hero to lead those elves, so probably drop your 6 Dunedain. That gives you about 150 points, thereabouts. Oh, just in time. You can help me write this guy a list.
Okay.
Right, so he has.
Is this the Grey Company?
Yes, it's the Grey Company one, but there's been a problem in list building. Right, so we've got Aragorn, Isildur's there, the 3 Hunters version. Okay. 12 Rangers of Middle-earth. Elrohir leading 12 High Elves, and Elladan leading the same warband, so there's the problem that they're in. Yeah. They need to be in the same warband. 9 Rangers of the North and 6 Dunedain. And he'd like to have Aragorn as an independent hero. So I said, this is going back. These guys are going to have to hear it twice. Yep. But Aragorn, Isildur's there is going to have to lead the Rangers. Yep. Just because you don't want to pay out for another hero. Elladan and Elrohir go in the same warband with reduced minus 1 of the blades. Yeah. Drop the Dunedain altogether because that's a lot of heroes. Yeah. Which gets you about 150 points, and then you can spend that on someone else to lead the other warband. Yep. So you could get like a. I was thinking Glorfindel with the armour. He doesn't really fit the theme of the 3 Hunters though, particularly. I mean, I think. Sorry, the 3 Hunters. The Grey Company. Grey Company. You get Halbrand in there. Halbrad's only 65 points. Yeah. So Halbrad's 65 points. You've got 150 points, then you can get another warband of Rangers in as well. Well, not full warband, but you could have reduced war. Mind you, I don't think you need that number of Rangers of the North. No, you don't. For what you need, you need 8 if you want another warband of Rangers. Yeah. But you need to get another Elven hero to lead the second warbanders. Oh, he's got Elladan and Elrohir leading a warband each. So I was thinking if you dropped all the Dunedain all together, put Glorfindel in. Glorfindel's probably the best general you're going to get out of them. Yeah. Because of the high defence, 3 might, 3 or 3 fates. Yeah, I would probably agree with that if you want to go for the double warband of your elves. And if you want to go for your theme, you can get the model guild, or it's not particularly great, but he brings in a theme, and I guess it allows you to bring in effectively wood elves. Yeah. Which might not be too bad a call. So yeah, that's... And who will be the leader? Probably Glorfindel, so if you don't want Aragorn to be your general. And next up is Ryan Smith. Fantastic. Hello, and my question for you is about victory points in a Lords of Battle scenario. More specifically, I am aware that killing a horse earns a VP. Damn, that new change. Yeah. Devastated. That used to be my baby. However, if for example my opponent killed the rider only, then does the horse fleeing the battlefield still earn them a second victory point? Thanks in advance for answering. Yes, it does. However you leave the battlefield, you earn a VP now. Set times for cavalry. As if we didn't have it hard enough.
Yeah, it's sad, but it is true. It was one of the moments with the latest Hobbit FAQs. Like, no, don't do this to me, Simon.
Cool. Next up is Thalianor.
Yep.
Is that how we're doing it? Hey guys, how's it going? This is my first week back at school, so from here on it may be hard for me to ask questions. You get weekends off. No, it's not.
Weekends, and school is what, 9 until 3:30?
Yeah, and you have half terms like literally every week.
What? You need to get up earlier, train harder.
Or just, stay up later.
Yes. Find a way.
Yeah.
If it's a choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you want something enough, you'll find a way.
So forgive me if I don't ask anything next week or the week after and so on, though I will try my best. I don't forgive you. You get plenty of time off on school. Second to last year at school, I hope I still have lots of time for the hobby. Anyway, my question this week is to do with the Middle-earth lore. I was going through the internet a few days ago, that's a dangerous thing to do, looking for information on Balrogs to expand my knowledge when I came across a very weird thing. Apparently Tolkien decided that there were only supposed to be a maximum 7 Balrogs after the fall of Utumno, which of course goes against what is in the Silmarillion, with there being armies of Balrogs. So what would you say would be true for Middle-earth, and what compromise would you suggest? I was thinking it was cool that there were armies of Balrogs, but at the same time, given how powerful they are, just 7 would make more sense. I think I'm going to go with that there were many Balrogs, maybe 50 in the Silmarillion, at least 7 survived the War of Wrath, and are hiding under the earth, Druinsbane being one of them. Would be great to hear what you think of this, and other areas of unclearness, i.e. Glorfindel coming back to life or not. Thanks guys, and keep up the good work.
The answer to this is that a lot of the time, Tolkien didn't really know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He didn't. Lord of the Rings isn't written, and none of his work is written how people would normally write a piece of fiction, at all. So you're not talking about like, okay, so structure and some kind of plot.
It just sort of organically grows, and he's like,
it does, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's an army of Balrogs. Actually, no, let's have 7 Balrogs.
Well, he would, because he made so much back content which wasn't necessarily designed to be the actual stuff. It's more of a myth. He dipped into that for then his actual stories, which are The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. So when you read the Silmarillion, you're not reading what is supposed to be.
Yeah.
Completely fit. It's the lore. It's all of those notes and things that he did when he was in the trenches and since and building a mythology. So of course names are repeated, and that's the same. That's with like Glorfindel, and sometimes he alluded one way, and then other times he alluded, really teased with it.
Yeah, and
what things meant.
The letters constantly flicker between. Actually, just ignore that. Just ignore that.
Yeah.
Actually, I meant this.
Yeah, no, it's true.
And you would never have known if I didn't write this letter.
Yeah, exactly. So it's quite interesting in terms of like armies of Balrogs and things. I think you could say that, but it does make more sense because they're Maya, aren't they? They're the same as they're effectively Morgoth's version of the wizards and stuff. So
having less of them makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. But yeah, thank you very much for that nice long question.
Yeah.
So next up we've got Matthew Ridgely. He's put, hey guys, I need me some of those dice, they look great. Well, they can get hold of the dice. The first opportunity will be?
Next opportunity is April. Because that's the only next tournament we're both at.
Fantastic. So get yourself down there. And is it 6? You buy 6?
It's just a pound of dice.
Pound of dice.
By however many you want, but it's one pound of dice.
Cool. A couple of questions today. Can the new Champions of Erebor profiles be used to lead warbands or Warriors of Erebor, etc.?
You wish. No. Erebor reclaimed, that's all.
But if not, would it be worthwhile taking a Captain of Erebor, then allying in the new Dwarven profile in by himself? Does he justify the extra cost of the Captain? So he wants to use the new Dwarven in his army.
New Dwarven's amazing.
Yep.
New Dwarven's awesome. I played against him at the weekend, he's really good.
Was it awesome?
Yeah, he's really scary. It's like, let's avoid the combat with that half of the army for as long as possible. As soon as Dwayne got in, he just started killing. Like,
he was using the 4 attacks.
4 attacks, because he was wounded on 4s anyway with strength 5. So it's like, no, he's against 2. Which, oh god, it's heroic combating. Oh, he's killed 4. He's cut a hole in the line. No. Yeah.
Protect the shade. Protect the shade.
He didn't go in the shade. We didn't let him go in there.
Yeah.
As soon as he goes in, it'd be like dead shade.
Oh dear.
Um, Does he justify the extra cost to the captain?
When you get like like the Thorin from before leading.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking in my head. Like, if you're going for that, you take Thorin as your general, and he can lead the warriors. Then
even Barling, because Barling's cheap.
Yeah, Barling's dirt cheap, isn't he? Yeah. But if you have Thorin as your general and then ally him in, you know, yes, it's Erebor reclaim, but you could just say, you know, no, it's him at the Battle of Anza and Anaza.
Battle of Eastgate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Battle of mad dwarvish language.
Yeah. And to stop Jay from just saying no, here's another question. I'm one of the guys trying to run the New Zealand Hobbit League, or the Nizzle for shizzle.
Cute.
Yeah. I was wondering if you had any advice on turning a group of gamers from all over the country who attend a few random and scattered tournaments into an actual league. What are the crucial basic steps that have to be made to turn it into something similar to the GBHL, aside from getting a good number of players? Cheers, and as always, loving your work. Well, the Great British Hobbit League started out with just 12 of us initially, and it was just us recording our own things. And it was really the emphasis was on Mick at the time, and he got in touch with people who he knew were organising tournaments, and said, "Can you give me the scores of your tournaments? Put them onto the list, and then ask the event organiser to then send it out to everyone. Hey, look, you competed in our tournaments. Look where you're now standing in this league."
Yeah.
And you know, people do that, and eventually we had the benefit of having the grand tournaments, the GTs at the time, and throwing the schools to get sort of a big database with people's names in, so you could start adding them on. The last thing to do is just to try and find these scattered tournaments, let them know that you exist, and make one big group for the NZHL.
The Nizzle.
The Nizzle.
I like it.
Yeah,
it was good.
That's good. And
does that make us the Gibble?
The Gizzle.
the
Jizzle. And get them to post their events on your page, and that'll bring people to your page, and it can grow from there. And then you get the community aspect of it all coming together. You start posting pictures there and trading and everything. And
people start to get to know each other from different tournaments. It becomes a social thing. And the key point I think that Jamie said there is that you've got to contact these tournaments and try and get them working together, because it benefits them all to be working together. So, you know, it benefits us that we're part of a league that has Titans in, and that it has, you know, Mid Sussex War Gamers and the guys from Scotland and Mansfield and Slayer Gaming. So it benefits us that we've all come together, because now, you know, we had the vehicle of the channel, but people will come to our tournaments and go to other tournaments, and now they're able to bring their own people into, you know, who will now come to our tournament. So it's got to be a big community effort. Yeah. It also
really helps when sort of you've got that platform that is, well, this is the Facebook group that was made by sort of Dan and everyone.
Yeah.
To you say, right, I'm running a tournament on this date, and then the other people know there's going to be no clashes. And it all works quite nicely.
Yeah, good to have like a bit of a schedule where they're coming, and just putting those things together so they're not individual events that no one really knows about. It's like, okay, so in the Nizzle, in January there's this, in March there's this, April there's this. I'm putting it all out there.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure someone will send you like the spreadsheets and stuff that are used.
Yeah, I mean, contact Thomas Harrison, and I'm sure he'll send you a spreadsheet that he's using and explain it.
He certainly will.
Next up is Raina Lee.
And he's put, I've been watching your video channel for months. It's the best thing on YouTube.
What guys?
And I finally decided to get a YouTube account only so I can ask questions.
Oh,
that's really cool. That's really cool. Here's my question. Does Rohan have a bow limit? From El Paso, Texas. Good man.
Are you from Old El Paso? Will you send us some fajitas and things? It's a joke. It's a joke about food.
I'm actually starving, you know. I need to get back and get me dinner. Okay, thank you very much for your question, and great that you signed up to YouTube. You are now in the loop. We've explained what that's all about. Rohan bow limit. Rohan riders of Rohan, they can take 100% bows. But the actual army itself has a bow limit just like everything else, which is 1/3. If you mix in the two, you just don't count the riders of Rohan towards the bow limit.
Yeah, you essentially treat them like heroes to the bow limit. So they don't add their numbers to it.
So let's say that you have 40 troops, because heroes don't count, and you have 10 riders of Rohan, then you can only take another 10 wielding bows because you work out from the 30.
Yeah.
Simple maths that I didn't want to trip up on there at all.
Did you say that, wait, you got 30? No.
No.
No, you can go down to 20 and you can only take 6.6.
So what's going to be the easiest bit of maths for me?
40. You've got 4 troops.
Yeah.
So next up is Lucas Whitecroft White. He says, hi guys, thank you for answering my question last week. My question this week is, what do you think is the most popular starter army in the game? Personally, I think it's Uruk-hai because they think every strategy battle gamer has an Uruk-hai. What do you think about this question? Thanks again, Lucas.
Uruk-hai are dwarves, I think.
I think it's Uruk-hai because they've got the spears, they've got fury.
You see a lot of dwarves with beginners though.
Yeah, you do.
You do see a lot of dwarves.
I think that's because of the Hobbits though. The Hobbit film.
Maybe, yeah.
We've seen so much on dwarves, it's like, I want a dwarf army.
Even before that, I saw a lot of like Khazad Guard, a lot of Iron Guard, a lot of...
It's because they're the ones that jump out on the forums like...
Yeah.
Oh, why are you spending 11 points on that? You might as well have Khazad Guard. So you're like, okay, well, I might as well have Khazad Guard.
Yeah.
I think people just like the dwarves as well. Like the dwarven aesthetic, even the old Games Workshop one, is still a nice aesthetic.
Yeah, it's still quite cool. Well, I don't think the new dwarves go too far away from what the Games Workshop aesthetic was. It's not too far, is it, really?
It's just a shame that the old dwarf shields are circular.
Yes, that's the one thing, isn't it?
It's just a little bit... Like they've got round shields.
Yeah.
Oh, they should have been... They should have known the shield should have been...
Should have known.
They should have known.
They should have known. Okay, great stuff. Thank you very much, Lucas. So next up we've got Mog Bebe. He's got, hi guys, what do you think of the new Bard Girian's heir? I think he's a bit overpointed. Yeah. Especially when he lost his bow. When he lost his bow and you have to pay for armour. But I have used him in some games now. He's actually really good, especially with his special rule for the militia. You
know what? After playing against him a few times with a big militia horde, I don't think he's overpointed.
You don't?
He is amazing when he's got a militia horde with him.
Really?
Not him, but the army becomes so much better.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you bring in more because those points that you spend on him are buffing the army.
Yeah.
And I guess if you've got a big horde, let's say you've got like an Erkenbrand or a Grimbold or you know where you pay a point per troop. I wonder if
it's that sort of like exponential growth because I mean,
of course it is.
With him, he's like he's a 12-inch banner for so imagine on a horse, which you're going to put him on a horse. He's got sort of like a 26-inch range banner either side.
That's awesome.
And they'll become fight 3. I mean, I was playing my orcs, and suddenly like if he wasn't there, the militia would have got walked over.
Yeah.
When he's there, okay, let's say it becomes 2-on-2 fights, equal fight value. They're on 3 dice.
Yeah.
And even when they're on their own, they've got the reroll. So you know they're not. He makes the army amazing, and he's pretty hard to crack and get to as well.
Because you get being able to put down a lot of troops down.
Yeah.
You I think the best way of working it out is that is worth 1 point. So for every warrior that you put down, that's 1 point that you're not having to pay. That is then effectively coming off of the price of.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you think of him in terms of banners, a banner's 25 points.
Yes.
His range is 12 inches either side. That's 4 banners. That's 100 points. I mean, it's not his special rule's not worth 100 points, but that's how much you would have saved your army in having him there with his big banner effect.
Yeah.
So I think maybe he's like 5 or 10 points too expensive, but I don't think he's overpointed terribly.
Yeah, especially in that army by the side. Yeah. It's good that you got to see that. I'd like to see that.
The
models look cool, don't they?
That's the army that won in the end.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Lake Town,
militia, Bard, and then the new White Council models. So Gandalf, Gladriel, and Saruman the Wise.
Wow.
And then Alfred, Damrod, Fatty Bolger, and Thrain the Broken.
Oh, right, okay, so that kind of...
And it was like, your army's good, you don't need these 4 drops.
Yeah.
Probably scumbags.
Scumbags. Good job that you both nice
I called them out in it as well. On the Facebook page.
Well, considering your army.
Oh yeah, well at least we didn't like bring a load of Feldwargs to drop.
True.
Which in the 800 point version of No Matter Angmar there are.
Yeah.
Because I need every advantage at 800 points.
So yeah, good answer there actually. Okay, so next up we've got William Farquharson. He's put those dice are amazing. Yes, they are. They're really good. A couple of simple questions this week where I feel I should know the answer, but I'm not 100% sure. If a cavalry model charges an infantry model and then is countercharged by another infantry model, the cavalry model knocks both of them to the ground, right?
Yes.
Certainly does if it wins the fight. And a transfixed spellcaster can't cast spells.
That was FAQ to be correct.
That's
yes.
FAQ to be correct.
Because I've seen
before that,
word lawyering, yeah. Which I had to rule at the moment.
Yeah. Can a strength 6 or higher model be sorceress blasted?
If it's the target of the initial blast, yes. If something hits it, it stops. It still has to start 3 hit though.
There you go. So good, nice little brief questions there with some good, nice little brief answers. So we've got Robert Hawksworth next.
Yeah, which is hi guys.
It's quite late.
Great show. I know, I'm really tired. Great show as always. I've never been to a tournament before, and I really want to attend the Desolation of Stockport 2015. I just need to book the weekend off work. I spent a lot of time painting up the Erebor army ready. Would you say that upgrading Thorin to have Orcrist would be worth it? From your experience, is there enough Orc, Uruk and Goblin armies to make it worthwhile? Thanks, Rob. I don't see it as an upgrade to get Terror. I see it as an upgrade to take an Elven Blade.
Yeah.
And obviously coming up against the Goblin King is a really nice bonus, and against them as well, it sort of negates their Fury massively as well.
Yeah.
Because you do all the multiplying before Fate and before Fury.
Yeah. I think it's worth it because it's quite cheap.
It's like,
is it 15 points? 10, 15 points?
10 points, I think.
10 points. Well, how much is the Open Shield?
5 points.
Oh, okay.
It's
So that's ridiculous.
That's ridiculously cheap for same as a shield, but I'm going to do a strength 4 hit.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
That should be like 7 points. Just make it 10.
Yeah, that should be 10 points maybe. Yeah. So yeah, it's worth it if you can get the upgrades on him. Absolutely, definitely. So next up we've got Larry Miller. He's put Jamie. That grumbling about Thorin King under the mountain and his 3 heroic combats wasn't anything to do with me, was it?
No, it wasn't actually. No, I mean you used it really well in our game.
What did he do?
Basically,
did you play Larry Miller?
Yeah, he had the new Hobbit heroes, Legolas, Thorin King of the Mountain, Tauriel, and despite me, he worked it really well. So convenient models.
Yes, I wonder why they were there.
They're there from a board game. That's going to be pointless showing the screen. Well, it's essentially like imagine the one with the brown base was Thorin.
Yeah, it's fallen. Drunk one.
Yeah, the drunk one. There we go.
It's weird.
Finally on screen. He'd do the heroic combat there first because he's less likely to be wounded from being trapped. So even if he was on like 4 guys or something, he'd heroic combat, finish his fight, then he would always be able to move out the way so the others could escape as well.
Okay.
So it was really good. Actually, 3 heroic combats per turn. I don't really remember grumbling about it either, so I don't know what I'm trying to defend myself. But no, it wouldn't have been based on that.
Yeah, I can't remember you grumbling about it. This week, some question about those dice. I can't remember if you said, but how much will they be? So it's been confirmed, £1 per dice. I do recommend that you buy at least 200. Also, I presume from what you were saying that the logo is on the 6 side.
That's correct, yes.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of doing another run of them with Bosch.
It's got to be done.
Yeah.
It's got to be done. But I'd get them either way. I just tend to prefer when the die had the picture as a 6. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. As it means you feel good when you see the picture come up in a game. Yeah, we don't want you to apply negative connotations to the channel.
Yeah.
Like, damn those GBHL guys! Don't want any of that. So next up we got Wang11.
Wang11. Hi, I was wondering if you'd give me some tips on how to remove paint from model. Seeing as I just painted Thorin Oak and Shield very badly. Thanks.
Yes, we can. There are 2 very known ways.
On plastic and resin though. Will it still work for plastic and resin? Like the Dettol seems a bit harsh. You can't use Dettol on plastic.
No, you can probably still use your. You can use your fairy power spray.
Fairy power spray.
Fairy power spray. Steve mentioned to me about some stuff that he's got, which I'm not going to be able to remember what it's called, which is completely pointless to let you know. That he said that this stuff, you can put it on a paintbrush, put it on, and it takes the paint off immediately.
Wow.
Like immediately. And I know that he was doing that on stuff that he green stuffed as part of a conversion. So therefore it must be okay with plastics and stuff. But I'm sorry, I've got no idea what that is.
So
there's something really good out there that we can't tell you what it is.
Fairy power spray would be the answer to just spray on and try to remove it.
So next up we've got Charles Balthasar. He's put a side-by-side comparison between James's and Damien's basing videos reveal a shocking thing. Aside from James using tuft in addition to grass, they base their bases exactly in the same way. Gasp. I guess we do similar. He uses slightly different material, but apart from that, yes.
I think Damien goes a bit lighter as well. Because I mean, when I was seeing it, I personally, Jane's calling.
She's calling me. Might have to go after this.
Yeah. I thought it was a bit too bright for my personal taste, but it does look good when it's done.
Yeah, it looks good. I think the key thing with bases is that all of your bases look the same. So if all of your bases look similar, then it looks cool. Wow, my phone has gone.
You've got 3 missed calls.
All my days. I'm going to be in loads of trouble. Anyway. Yeah, he uses.
Power through.
He uses sand, just like a sand that hasn't got. It's not like a gritty sand, but then he's added like a pellety kind of thing based on the video. So he gets a much sort of lower. The normal line is kind of smaller. Like the sand bit of it, the granules are smaller, and then he's got the odd bit that picks out.
Yeah.
And he uses a bright static grass, doesn't it? It's like kind of bright.
No, you use Scotch grass.
It looks quite bright.
Yeah, I think that's just the contrast against the very white base. I mean, for me, I always find it really weird when people put the sand on after they painted the model.
Yeah, he does.
It blows my mind a bit. It's like,
I saw that.
Oh, I don't like it.
Sometimes I've based miniatures before like done the whole complete base before actually painting a miniature.
Yeah.
Which I did like with my Arathorns and my Malbeths and all those kind of things. I just did a whole load of basing all at the same time.
If you get in the mood for it, you might as well.
Yeah, just like right, okay, I'll get 50 models done.
I always do it where I put the sand on the model base before I spray it, and then you spray it and you paint the base black with it.
Yeah.
I think it's just weird.
But yeah, similar but just slightly different materials. So he's put, couldn't think of any SBG related questions this week. So how about an only slightly related one? Which upcoming movies / TV shows, plays featuring actors and actresses from the Lord of the Rings Hobbit films are you most excited to see? I hear Richard Armitage is going to play a villain in Hannibal. Good place to stop reading, as the next part of my comment is unrelated to the first question. I've got no idea.
I've not followed it, what they're going to do next. Yeah. I've seen Ori's in a Haribo advert.
Oh yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's the one where the kids are talking.
Yeah, that's really cool. I usually hate Haribo adverts.
I have watched that and I appreciated it as a piece of work.
Yeah, what an artist.
I honestly have no idea. I don't particularly follow actors and actresses. I look at a movie, do I like it? Yes, I'll watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's got Richard Armitage in. I'll watch that.
Yeah, but it is interesting because you always get these situations after like something has been reasonably successful or been out there. So like The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings before that, or even stuff with like Games of Thrones, where all of a sudden you'll see those actors that you've not really seen a lot in lots of things before suddenly become quite prevalent and sought after.
Sort of snowball the effects of
immediately
success.
after.
Yeah.
So it's like with Game of Thrones, you see that Kit Harington is like well sought after now.
Yeah.
And Jon Snow. And get on with Jon Snow.
I've not even built him. Sorry. I've not painted my what's it called? The Saga stuff. You think I built Jon Snow?
That's true. That's true. We'll get around to all that stuff one day. So the next part of this question was, my friends and I, who frequent GW Copenhagen every Thursday, have set up a Facebook group for Danish players. Go check that out, Danish players. We've been told by the local GW managers that while a good amount of people buy the minis, it's always just us four who play in there. Mind giving our Facebook group, Copenhagen Middle-earth Battle Gamers, a shout out?
Go Copenhagen Middle-earth Battle Gamers. Woo! Woohoo! Go check the Facebook page out.
A shout out, and then tell all the Danish players to get off their bums and join up. Thanks for all the great videos. Rest in peace, GBHL.
What?
I think it's because it's a long comment and
if I had to read it.
Cern is in Denmark, isn't he? Cern. I'm sure he's coming in April.
Yeah.
Good. I'm sure he's coming.
We've got the Danish, is it the the Holland.
Yeah, they're all coming over. They're all coming. There's a few coming from abroad for April, so it should be quite exciting.
Yeah, that'd be good. Again, we're going to need to get some there and back again awards, like a good number of them. That sounds a bit.
I didn't do it in the league final. I just bought them the pint instead.
Oh, okay, that's probably.
Yeah, I was like, people like Barry O'Neill's got so many there and back.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm sure you'll appreciate a pint more.
Yeah.
So, because I did have a couple spare from previous tournament. Just a quick point, based on what you said before about the GW manager saying that, you know, the Hobbit sales are okay, but no one goes into the store to play it. An interesting thing that Steve Crow said about, because he went into Games Workshop Altrincham, and the guy had no idea that, you know, all this was going on quite close to him. Yeah. Like he didn't know about the channel. Can you imagine that, someone not knowing about the channel? Unbelievable. And he said that nearly everybody who goes in there, they all have a Hobbit army, but it's almost like it's a dirty little secret for them.
Yeah.
You know, so they go in there, and even though they've got Hobbit armies, they might bring it along, but if someone's got 40k there, they'll play 40k, they won't bring out the Hobbit armies. Yeah. And he'll only end up being him playing. But he says that everybody he knows has one, but he almost don't talk about the fact that they'll play it, or try and play it.
Interesting. It's so sort of, it's that long sort of feud between 40k and fantasy where, oh, it's a game for kids, or you just need to roll sixes. It's a long-held viewpoint on Lord of the Rings.
We're not kids.
It's a game of sixes.
We're adults.
Yeah, but that's how they.
We're grown-ups.
Just like we view 40k is just throwing buckets at the table.
Having played all three systems, now. I feel like I'm some kind of authority on this now. I played fantasy once. I would say that 40k is the one that you have to take the least seriously. I think if you take it seriously, it becomes all about the list building. I think it's a fun. I really do think it's a fun game. I enjoy playing it. Yeah. It was easy. It was very easy. I think fantasy's got a lot of special rules and things, but I kind of picked up the rules quite easy. But I think the most strategic has got to go Hobbit, then fantasy, and then.
Yeah, I'd agree.
I think from list building.
I think fantasy,
40k, and then SBG.
Yeah.
Because I think one of the great things about SBG is that you can have a rubbish list, but if it's a good player, they'll still do well with it.
Yeah. It's a very balanced system in comparison to those two.
Yeah.
Fantasy has some imbalances, but your list building is a huge part of the game. Just by turning up to the table, if you keep your magic items separate, but if you just show each other's lists. If you're a betting man, you could easily put the odds on who's going to win this game, regardless of player skill.
Yeah, which is, you know...
But I think fantasy's good. Fantasy's more balanced than 40k.
Yeah.
40k is ridiculous.
So, Kevin Demansky...
Yeah, he says, hi guys, just wanted to say hello and say to keep up the great content. James, nice work holding down the fort for the past few weeks. From the land of maple and bacon.
Do our best. Remember, you've been in a few lately.
It was those 2 or 3 weeks where we just couldn't meet up.
Yeah. There was 2 or 3. We'll always try and get a speed friendly question up. We'll always try and do it. So we've got Orcs and More. He's put, hey guys, haven't asked a question in a very long time, but I'm back. Good to have you back, pal. So here is the question: have you ever seen the 0 points Gollum in a tournament?
Yeah, Dave Nolan took him to the event down south. The Fog on the Finchley Downs.
I told him that you're not allowed to bring it.
However, I thought that he'd been replaced by Gollum for 35 points, that 0 point Gollum was irrelevant anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't think that you could take 0 points Gollum
as well.
Also, I want some of those dice. I hope there'll be some left at Desolation of Stockport because I'm coming over from Holland! Woo! The Dutch massive Orange Army.
The Dutch Fellowship. Yeah.
The Dutch Fellowship. Keep up the great work. Yeah, I did tell Dave that I didn't think you could.
Yeah, I think you just brought him just because. Next up is Camille Demansky. He says, hi guys, the reason I don't have any time for the hobby is that I've just moved to a new place and all my stuff is in the box. Well, you should get your stuff out of the box.
Get it out of the box.
Stockport in April, of course, I'll be there. No question this week, just checking in. Take care guys, and you'll never walk alone. Fantastic.
Yeah, and remember, you know, if you don't have questions, check in with us, just say hello, let us know that you're alive. We do get worried, you know, there's a long period of time where we thought Chochar Master was a goner.
Snuffed it, yeah.
You never know, would you? Next up we've got Avatar of Odin. He's put, hopefully in time with this week's questions. Haven't got around to watching Speak Pen Question before the question deadline lately. What is your favourite standard scenario from the 5 source books? And what is the favourite narrative scenario you've played so far?
Domination is my favourite scenario by a long shot.
Domination's good.
It's a good balanced scenario.
Domination. To the death, if you remove the banner, is...
It's just a pitched battle.
It is a pitched battle, so it's probably the most simple thing for people to get into. I of course like Lords of Battle.
Did like Lords of Battle.
I still like it. I still like it, but it does give too much of an emphasis from me. Domination's quite some of my favourite games have been a lot of the custom scenarios.
Yeah.
Not just ones that I've made, but ones like the guys from Scotland have done, that Sam Page did at East Grinstead and stuff like that. So.
Favourite narrative scenarios that I've played so far. The House of Sauron was good fun. That'll be up in about 8 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah. That's number 11.
Cool.
In the campaign.
Every Saturday on your favourite YouTube channel.
What else has been a good narrative scenario?
I really enjoyed Barlin's Tomb with you.
Barlin's Tomb was good.
We had a lot of fun with that.
Damien and Tom are going to do that one for the campaign.
Cool.
So we get 2 other people playing the scenario.
Cool.
Yeah, Barlin's Tomb was good fun. I really enjoyed the origin of #Bosch, the
Rohan one.
Rohan one.
Yeah. It was nice getting the 4 of us together to do Battle of Blackgate.
Yeah, that was cool.
That was just nice because it was the 4 of us together. Yeah, that was really nice.
That video's about 3,000 views now.
Yeah, well it should have, because it's one of the hardest bits of editing ever. Seriously, that was hard.
That's a tough one.
That was a tough one. I'm glad that people are appreciating the work that went into that battle report. And the Am and Hen ones were really good fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed watching them. They were some of the first back reps I watched where I wasn't a part of it, so I really enjoyed seeing why people liked them.
Yeah. So next up we've got Jack Berry. He's put, hi guys, thanks for answering my first question last week. Good to have you back. You are looped. Thought I would leave you with an ice short on this week. Out of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit range, which model would you say you have most enjoyed painting, and which model are you most proud of painting?
Proud of it? I think my favourite's been the Fellowship, the Breaking of the Fellowship, and painting them up and painting their Balin's tomb diorama set. I got it's still my parents said actually to bring that over.
It's very interesting because I would say that painting the 3 hunters, particularly Breaking of the Fellowship Legolas, painting Breaking of the Fellowship Legolas was really fun, and just obviously it turned out really nice, which helps. But I loved painting that model. It was a really nice model to paint. The cloak, the pose, the different cloth, the different everything.
It's just good, isn't it? Yeah, Breaking the Fellowship for me probably.
I'm with you on that. I'm looking forward to doing Breaking the Fellowship Gandalf, because I've still not got Gandalf the Grey on foot.
Yeah.
It's got my Gandalf the Grey mounted. And Breaking the Fellowship Aragorn, I think it's going to be fun to do.
Yeah, with his...
Breaking the Fellowship Boromir.
He's cool,
yeah. That's a great pose. So good questions. Next up, we've got Dominic Harris, this is the second to last question. And looks like it's going to be about an hour and a quarter.
Yeah.
And I think we're about to get some sleep.
Hi guys, thanks for answering my question this week. My question for you this time is it's very similar to the earlier question. Which of the Hobbit soundtracks do you prefer, and do you have a special edition versions of them? Looking forward to more of your awesome videos. I actually have the entire Hobbit soundtrack on my Spotify. No point loading it. Oh god.
Hello. Dwarves just came up. Hello. I would say that
I listen to it when painting or playing Civilization 5. There it is, GBHL.
Yay!
It's everything, isn't it?
I really like I like The Last Goodbye.
Last Goodbye is good. That's a good standalone song. As is Ed Sheeran's and there's Song of the Lonely Mountain. All the credit ones are really good standalone songs.
They are really good standalone songs.
Yeah. So if I had to choose one of the 3 to pick, it'd be the first one because you actually get the dwarf theme tune in that one.
I think the Lonely Mountain song is very, very good. Yeah. It's a very, very good theme for the whole. Yeah, it's a good overture. I think is what it might call. But that's quite interesting. We said about standalone songs. It was the same with Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings standalone songs were really good. Yeah. So you had obviously Enya
Maybe.
Which is really, really good. You had Bjork, the Gollum's song.
Gollum's song,
Gollum's song, which was quite eerie and weird.
Yeah.
And you had Into the West by, what are they called? Oh, what's her name? Annie Lennox. Is it Annie Lennox?
Annie Lennox.
I'm glad I got that just before that came up. So yeah, all good standalone songs. Okay, so final question.
Yeah. Potentially final question. I've pressed F5 because we got a notification during this time. This is your question.
So we've got Christian Syrup Jensen. He's put, hey guys, after having been out of the loop for a while.
He's back, at least.
At least you're back. I am now back and plan on asking you Middle-earth related questions every week.
Oh man, that seems I need to do some revision.
So welcome to the first round of Middle-earth Madness. Did you do research for this?
Nope. This came up 2 hours ago. I wasn't paying attention 2 hours ago. I was in bed.
This is where your Middle-earth knowledge is put to the test. Oh, unfortunately, we've run out of time on this week's edition of Speak Brendan Question.
Oh God.
Why was Melkor's name changed to Morgoth? Now I know this. Just give me 1 second. Why was Melkor? I remember reading this. If you just give me a couple of seconds. It was originally Melkor. But he was Melkor when he was good, wasn't he? And he became Morgoth when he became evil. You know, something like that. Because Morgoth means black foe of the world.
In Sindarin. Yeah.
In Sindarin, which is quite important.
Yeah.
And Melkor, he was actually quite good.
Yeah.
So that's why.
Melkor means he who arises in might in Kenya and another of Tolkien's languages.
There you go, so that's why we got the right answer there.
Melkor was not called Morgoth until he destroyed the 2 trees, murdered Finwë and stole the Silmarils in the First Age. The darker name was then bestowed by Fëanor, son of Finwë, and the elves called him thereafter
One eye at the screen.
by that name alone. The name meant dark enemy, even though it is a black foe of the world that Fëanor named him out loud.
Why did you get Wikipedia? I could have said all of this.
Oh, sorry.
Just give me time. I was thinking.
Yeah.
So that does bring us to the end of this week's edition of Speak Friend and Question.
We need to press refresh just to make sure that.
Oh yeah, is that a Speak Friend and Question? F5'd it. I'm about to start talking.
Welcome, Strategy Battle Gamers, to another GBHL YouTube channel video. You're here with your channel hosts, together again, GBHL James.
No.
That's gonna look like some kind of mad. You want to do the dubbing?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Nope.
That's it, guys. So we do hope that you have enjoyed this week's edition. Hopefully we'll be together again next week.
If Jane hasn't killed James.
I know, I've got a lot of notifications on there. I don't think she was feeling too well today, so I might be in trouble for... I'll just
you taking that or leaving that?
I might leave that.
Yeah, I'll put it on.
I think it might encourage your flatmate to get more into the hobby when he sees that wonderful box. Please take care of it.
Just go on eBay. No, I don't know what you meant. Smog. Don't know.
Make sure, as always, that you comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your hobby, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
And as always, guys, happy strategy battle gaming.